Reading in bed.
Right, Amanda, what are we doing today?
We're doing reading in bed, but not as you know it.
Yeah, it's not. I was wondering today, the main reading bed, the mother. Should we call it the mothership then? Shall we? I like that.
Yeah.
The mothership's going to follow in about a week's time. We've got to finish the books off yet, but we're doing something a little different today, Amanda, aren't we?
Yeah.
Just a little. Now, it's should we call it a promo, shall we, Amanda?
Yeah.
I think it's promo is a good word here. Okay, so and what we're doing is Amanda is launching a new podcast series, aren't you, Amanda?
Yeah, because I don't do enough podcasts.
Now she doesn't sleep enough as it is, so she's determined that. Make sure she sleeps 1 hour a night instead of 2, aren't you?
Yeah.
Now, what are you doing, Amanda?
I'm reading a chapter every week of my book, Ghost of Me, that you might have heard of because I've been going on about it a lot.
Now, in case you haven't heard about it, what is Ghost of Me, Amanda?
It's a book about the main character who was called Sarah, and she finds out she's dead and goes on to try and solve her own murder.
Yeah, and okay, for people that are interested, Amanda, what's made you want to do this as a weekly podcast? In case you're wondering, Amanda, you're going to do a chapter a week, Amanda, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, initially I brought the book out itself in March, and I did about 6 months of promotion before that, and then we had the pandemic that you might have heard of, and that sort of slowed the sales down because it was looking quite promising until then. And you generally don't really get more than 6 months to promote the book, and then it's just like lost its sort of lease of life. So I just think with each new thing you do with the book, it gives it an extra lease of life and gives you the chance to promote it again. So I had the audio book come out that was read by Valerie Moss, who was a really talented narrator from Canada. And that's over 6 months now. So I'm just trying to bring it back to life again.
Yes. How do you feel then up to that? Because obviously you wrote the book, obviously, was it about a 6 month period, didn't you, really? In 2019. It was longer than that. I remember you writing it.
Yeah, it was longer than that. I did it for the duration of the course, which was about a year long. And well, for the second year of the course, which was a year long, but I'd already done like a little bit as well to start it. So I had to go back because I had that as like the sort of rough draft. But I've obviously learned a lot since I did that because it was about 6 or 7 years earlier. So yeah. I changed it a lot and did a lot of different things to it.
Yeah. How did you feel now actually recording it? You record. I know people wondering. You've not done all the book all yet, but you will be, like I said, trying to record a chapter a week, aren't you? So how's it felt then, actually going on and narrating your own book after, I say, Valerie's did a sterling job of it originally for you, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't think it's quite as good as her, but she's a professional narrator. But I've been doing reading in bed extracts for about 7 or 8 months now, maybe longer. Yeah. So it's given me some practice.
Yeah, it's a really interesting idea because anybody who's doing a novel, what Amanda's found with this is like, because obviously, I've been reading myself for 15 years regular now, and you've been doing readings regularly for about 4 or 5 years, Amanda, haven't you? Yourself, yeah. And I think as writers and as podcasters, really, the pair of us are, it's a good challenge to try something different out. And I've been helping assist Amanda out the IT side of it. It's been a pleasure hearing it and getting her prepared for it. So Amanda, obviously, we're not going to go on. We're going to put a little bit of extract at the end of this podcast, aren't we, to let people hear it. And it's going to be from the prologue, so people are wondering. Now, what platform is this going to be on, Amanda?
So it's going to go on to Anchor, which then will release it onto Google Podcasts, Apple, and Spotify, and all the other ones.
Amazon, and who knows where else, right?
Hopefully it will pop up on all those as well, yeah.
Yeah, because it's always interesting with podcasts. The RSS feed's always a vital thing. When you've got that, then you can put it here and everywhere. So watch your space, definitely. So it'll be cropping up on the local networks in over time. So, right, Amanda, when's it coming out?
The prologue's going to be on the 1st of February, which is a Monday. And then after that, it's going to be every Monday. There's going to be a new chapter until the book's finished. Yeah. And every so often, I'll include links in case people want to know what happened next and I don't want to wait another week. so they can buy the book from different places.
And if people want to find out more about this book, Amanda, how are they best contacting you, apart from the usual means? Are they best go to your Facebook page, do you recommend? Your Amanda Steele writer page?
That's my off page. So if you go through there, and if you find yourself, because I've just found out today that there's another author who's just started recently in the last year called Amanda Steele. So if you find yourself on an author page where somebody's going on about werewolves and alphas and mating with each other, then that's not me, and you're on the wrong page.
I know, it's crazy because I like it. There's obviously, I know we're breaking 4-4 there. Do you say there was an adult movie star called Amanda Steele, isn't there, Amanda, as well?
Yeah.
And I know there's a podcaster in America called Amanda Steele as well, but she has the extra E at the end of her name. So it's like I said, there's somebody with an E at the end called Makeup Mandy who just posts pictures of herself posing in different makeup and stuff. Who's got quite a following. Oh, see, this is what we have to put up with sometimes. When your name's just Andy M, it's dead straightforward.
It's too late to change my name now as well, because I've got it registered with so many places. Somewhere I actually earn money, that it'd mess things up and affect me earning money if I started changing it.
Well, it is what it is, as I always say. So anyway, guys, goes 1st of February, like Amanda said. Usually when you're doing these sort of podcasts, it'll go on Anchor first and it'll crop up on a couple of the networks over the period of time. So but watch your space, okay? Amanda will be publicising everything when it comes to other networks. So that's it for Reading in Bed, Amanda, isn't it?
Yeah.
See you all soon. Say bye, Amanda. Bye.
Reading in Bed.
He lurked in the shadows, waiting and hoping she wouldn't take a different route. This was her usual route. He knew that. He knew her. Obscured by the two looming buildings he stood between, he pleaded with whatever higher power there was for tonight to be no different. Maybe she would get a call from a friend and decide to go in a different direction. Her shift finished 5 minutes earlier. The lurker mentally traced her steps at this point. 2 minutes at her pace, unless she worked overtime or someone gave her a lift. They rarely did, though. He took a deep breath. Don't mess this up, he thought, unsure whether the words were to himself or to her, by changing her plans and deciding not to walk in his direction, despite spending the last 2 weeks passing the spot he now waited at. It would be just like her to mess up his planning, just like all of them. Then came the clicking of her heels and the smell of perfume, confirming it was her, the scent of apple which prompted him to lick his lips. Or perhaps it was the anticipation of what he was about to do.
Reading in Bed. Reading in Bed.